Prepare yourself, comic book fans. This is episode 35. We are doing a Comic-Con recap, a little bit of what's going on with this week that happened in Comic-Con in San Diego. And, we didn't go, but, we want to cover the stories of everything that happened. Sean, why didn't we go to Comic-Con this year, man? This was your budget. This is what you were supposed to get this
I have no rational excuse why we couldn't, to be honest with you. Nothing good that's even worth trying to bullshit my way through. But I'll tell you what, if we get your support and we get enough of you rallied behind us, and it's doable, I would love to go next year to do this.
All right, we got a game plan. So next year we're going to try to make it to Comic-Con for you guys. But this time, you know what? We're happy to just read the news online since we didn't get free tickets. So let's talk about it. Marvel and DC. I heard they dropped a few little tasty nuggets of the upcoming movies that's coming out. DC has their upcoming slate that they dropped out was Zack Snyder's Justice League, Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman, Rick. I'm gonna miss his name of Rick Famuyiwa, the director of Flash. James Wan is doing Aquaman, and as you know, Ben Affleck is doing the Batman. Yeah. So, what do you think about? So you saw a little bit of the footage that came out. We saw the trailer. We did the reaction to the trailer. What do you think so far about this lineup that we got?
I think this is one of the more exciting near future type of movies that we're going to get a bunch of good ones within a pretty close proximity. And there's some other ones, and I'm sure we'll talk about another video. And we did trailer reactions to like Kong, Skull. There's so many good movies that are coming out within a very close time frame. I can't wait.
Yeah, 2016 was kind of like a sleeper. It started off good. The summer kind of got But 17 looks like it's going to be a mega force of movies. That's going to be pretty good. I mean, what did we say? We said Aquaman. I'm curious. I was worried about all this stuff. But after seeing the Justice League trailer,
yeah, he had a Zoolander moment in Batman Superman. He's kind of like, kind of like swimming in Aquaman. And he had a Zoolander moment.
He's gonna do duck lips the whole thing.
Yeah, like when he went up to the RV and the Batman Superman, he has a Zoolander face, and then he jab it. Yeah, but when I saw him in the trailer for Justice League, I was like, okay, he's a badass. All right, that's not Zoolander. Okay. It had me a little worried. He was like, I'm a merman, so.
Picks up Ben Affleck. I like the way that trailer started off. He's like, you got a guy comes here every winter. He brings you fish. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so he's just doing charity work. I know the Aquaman character is half human, half. They always got a little like an orphan thing going on with the DC world, like with Batman, Superman, and whatnot. And I think Aquaman's the same thing. I think his mother is Atlantean, a queen, and the father was just a regular fisherman. I don't know how they met. Well, how they met, but wow, they decided to have a baby, I guess, and so he still has ties with the people on Earth, but he still loves what's going on in the ocean. So I thought maybe that the main villain was gonna be Aquaman at first, like dumping in the oceans, and when Superman brought those Kryptonian ships down and right in the middle of the ocean, almost destroyed the world. I thought that might have activated the Atlanteans to wage war or something like that. Maybe they thought that was an act of war. But I don't know. It looks like that's not going to be the main plot. So, but like you said, I'm kind of excited the way the DC cinematic universe is shaping up. I mean, I'm excited about Flash. I'm really excited about Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Everything's looking great on this. So, DC, you know what? It'll be Justice League. Once Justice League comes out, if it's good, I would say that they've officially caught up to Marvel, even though Marvel's had that 7 years.
They've had a long run head start, so we're really fighting an uphill battle at this point. But
you know what? We get like 4 or 5 comic book movies, good movies a year now. So we're in a good time to watch these movies. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm happy.
They're a lot more willing to drop these $150-250 million budgets on these movies now. It's almost it's not a guarantee that you're going to make a massive amount of money on them, but it's almost guaranteed that you will at least make your money back and a little bit extra.
Yeah,
on the comic book movies.
I'm loving the fact that it's more of a guarantee that quality actors are now signing up for these. These aren't just jokes. Yeah, they're taking him seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you got, oh my God, I forgot his name already. The Brad Pitt of the back in the day. He was on Captain America: Winter Soldier. What's his name? Remember he was the main villain, the guy who was secretly Hydra.
Oh, are you talking about the first Captain America?
No, the second one. The second one. He was in Winter Soldier. He was dude. He's a big actor. He wasn't Cool Hand Luke. What was his name? Oh, anyway,
I'm having a brain fart here. Yeah,
I'm having a brain fart on it too. But I mean, you got the dude who played Thor's father. You got you know, Hannibal. What's his name? Also.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins.
You get guys like Anthony Hopkins and the other guy that I'm forgetting about. Signing up for these movies, then you know you got some weight behind you. You got some serious quality. When the Anthony Hopkins of the world say, "Hey, you know what? I'll sign up. These movies are making an impact. They're making, they're the #1 thing now. I'll sign up." And you're like, "Wow, now we got a movie." So that's pretty awesome. Marvel's kicking ass. And speaking about Marvel, Kevin Feige, he kicked off with at Comic-Con. He kicked off with the Black Panther group over at Comic-Con. He brought the director in. Was it Ryan Coogler? The guy who did the movie Creed. And
all right, yeah.
and he okay. So the cast there is you got Chadwick Boseman. You got Lupita. I'm gonna say her name wrong. Lupita Nyong'o. She was in 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, okay. All right. She's a good actress.
Yeah, exactly. You got Michael B. Jordan. You got Daniel Guerrero. I forgot what movie he played in, but you got I'm saying her name wrong. It's
top shelf actors.
Danae Guerrero from The Walking Dead, the one with the swords.
Oh, really? She's in it?
Yeah, she's in it too. And you know what? When I heard the lineup, I was like,
dang.
Black Panther
gonna be good. Yeah,
it's a whole lineup of heavy hitters. So and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's all black, mostly black cast, and they're all heavy hitters. So it's pretty meaningful for me, and I can't wait till that hits. Thinking that's what 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 2017, 2000? I think it's 2018 when Black Panther's coming out.
Yeah, they didn't really have many black superheroes in mainstream, do they?
Or they were out there, just the ones that.
But getting big publicity.
They weren't getting big publicity back in the 70s. They kept getting hit with the word black before every black bolt, black this,
black exploitation.
Black, yeah, exactly. Black. There was always blaction movies back in the day. but you know what? But now that's kind of stopped. I mean, they're being treated with a little bit more respect. So and now but you know what? The name Black Panther, even though it still had the word black in front of it, it still made more sense to me because a Black Panther, being from Africa and all that. So that was a better name. It didn't even if it meant to be just like the Black Bolts and the Black Lightnings and all those other characters and stuff. It's still, the name still made sense and fit, and it doesn't feel bad any way weird at all because Black Panthers are real, and
I didn't even know anything about the Black Panther until I saw, I think it was on Netflix, the animated graphic. It was like rated R. I mean, it was like really and like, again, no idea who the Black Panther was, but that was probably one of the coolest cartoons I've ever seen. It was nasty. Like I was like, when I heard the movie was coming out, I was like, they're gonna have to edit this.
I knew of the character from watching cartoon series and stuff. I never watched or read the comic books, but I knew of Black Panther. I don't know if I have any of the books up behind me, but I even have a funny story about one of a black author who I follow a lot. His name is Eric Jerome Dickey. I even did a video on his channel saying that one of the reasons why I do what I do now, one of my biggest inspirations is that guy. He used to write a lot of comedy, romance novels and whatnot. Then he moved to a little action. He created a character which is pretty action-packed. The guy was badass too. And Marvel hired him a long time ago to write some books, and he made that announcement. And I emailed him, tried to do a pen pal thing because I said, hey, I like your stuff and blah blah blah. And he wrote back and said, oh, I'm a comic book fan myself, and this because I told him about my comic book stuff. And I said, that's why I like your writing, because you do a lot of comic book references. I noticed that in your books. And I said, that must be the connection, what's clicking. And when he told me that Marvel hired him to write some stories, I didn't know what he was writing. He couldn't tell me at the time. then a few years later, I was in the comic book store, and there was a book, Black Panther and Storm.
Because, that's what he was writing on?
That's what he was writing. And I was like, whoa, hey, I met this guy. You know, I mean, I didn't meet him. I said, I was talking to this guy, and he told me about this. This is awesome. And the guy behind the counter was like, so? That's $3.99. He didn't give a shit. You're like, okay.
Fuck your mother.
So I told him that I bought the books and everything, but he wrote the whole story where Black Panther and Storm, it turns out they grew up together and they knew each other since they were kids, and they got married. And for a while they were married. So Storm was the queen of Wakanda for a while. I think they're not married anymore, but they it was a pretty interesting story. So anyway, that was Marvel. So in other Marvel news, let's get on from that. Let's see, Spider-Man: Homecoming and Justice League are going to go head to head on a release date. They're going to be like around, I don't know if they're going to be released on the same day, but at least around the same week. So that's going to be, that's a heavy one. Okay, so when I saw that, I was like, I got to ask Sean this question. Who do you think will be affected worse? Who's going to
say Justice League and the new Spider-Man?
Justice League and Spider-Man: Homecoming, which features Robert Downey Jr., are going head to head in the theaters. Who wins that week? Let's go. Talk about it. What do you got? What do you think?
My instinct tells me that the Justice League movie is going to pull in more the first opening weekend. Do I think that the critics are going to accept it as much as, because everybody loves Spider-Man? It's with the exception of the last one that came out, the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Amazing Spider-Man and
kind of 3 too.
Were the ones that were critically hit, yeah.
But Spider-Man 1 and 2, it's just like I've never even talked to anybody who said like, oh, those sucked. You know, they're always like, those are awesome. And for me, that was my first memory, Spider-Man 1, of going to go see a comic book character movie or a superhero movie, and it was
epic.
The biggest event, sold out every screen, record-breaking numbers. It was all over the news. I mean, it was everywhere. Titanic. Yeah, and nobody expected it. Nobody expected it. It was huge.
It was that song, man. And they say that hero. That was that song that did it, if you ask me.
But the trailer, when you put that in the trailer, it's pretty tight. I still like that song, guys. The Nickelback hero.
Oh man, Nickelback! We just lost like 10 subscribers. But the thing about Spider-Man and is just that I don't know. It's now that Marvel and Sony have merged and whatnot. Marvel's so trusted and whatnot. So the hardcore Marvel fans, just movie fans who love these comic book movies in general, I think they're gonna trust Marvel more. But this is an event. We talked about this last time. Just like Avengers, the first Avengers. This is an event now. Now DC has brought out the Justice League. What's gonna happen?
Theoretically, I think the Justice League has the potential to make more money than Spider-Man does, even if it's just for the first Justice League movie. Just because, like the Avengers, this is like a lot of superheroes in one movie. It's a big deal. Spider-Man, it's going to be tough for Spider-Man to beat out the opening weekend for Justice League. Second weekend,
I'm gonna go the other way because I think it's gonna really depend on how the Wonder Woman movie does. And because I think Suicide Squad is going to be good. I think Wonder Woman, it depends on how well that does, because that's going to be the one that's going to lead us into the Justice League. So now after we get that Wonder Woman movie, we lead off into the Justice League. What's people's expectations going to be? But with Spider-Man, everybody's been like, give Spider-Man back to Marvel. Give Spider-Man back to Marvel. Now it's happened. And you got Robert Downey Jr. in there. So now you have trusted Marvel with a good track record. Even though it's been hit and miss with Spider-Man, they're still going to forgive it because let's see where everybody's going to be clamoring to find out what is Marvel's Studios version of Spider-Man going to look like. I think Justice League will take the second place. If they're coming out the same day, I think Justice League takes second.
Really?
I feel it's a coin. Honestly, it's a coin toss. I wouldn't be surprised either way. But ask me again after the Wonder Woman movie comes out. After we see pictures and trailer of Spider-Man and the full cast and everything, we know exactly what's going to happen with the villain. The villain is going to be the Vulture. After we find out all we need to know from a trailer,
Spider-Man movie is the Vulture.
Spider-Man movie.
And it's Michael Keaton.
After that's the rumor. After the Wonder Woman movie does its thing, I think then we'll have an idea. If Wonder Woman is amazing and Gal Gadot kills it, and it's like the #1 movie for like 5 weeks or whatever, and everything, and I think then Justice League takes the top spot. If it's a failure, like if it doesn't make the amount of money that they want it to make, I think Spider-Man takes it. So, that's my theory.
So I go for opening weekend. Justice League pulls in more. Chris says Spider-Man's going to pull in more. So we'll see. We'll see.
It'll be some other Disney movie. It'll still be Rogue One probably.
It's Zootopia 2.
Exactly. Well, so the other bit of Marvel news was Brie Larson, the woman who played in the movie The Room. That story about the woman trapped in her kidnapper kept her trapped in this little small shack and had a child by him, and kept them in there for like 13 years, or I don't know how many years, 10 years, and she finally she has to try to find a way to escape her abuser and kidnapper. And she won an Oscar for that performance. She has been cast as Marvel's Captain Marvel. Do you know anything about the Captain Marvel character?
Nothing about Captain Marvel.
Okay. So Captain Marvel, her name is Carol Danvers, the first character to use the moniker Ms. Marvel. Okay, the first appearance was in Marvel Superheroes, the number 13 that came out in 1968. It was written by Roy Thomas, art by Gene Colan, and it was as a non-powered superhero. She was in the U.S. Air Force after being caught in an explosion with the Kree, the aliens that the Kree wasn't used in Marvel movies yet, but they will be. It's an alien race of shapeshifters. The Kree is being used in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. So after being caught up with the Kree superhero, she became a superhero Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel number 18 that came out in 1969. Danvers resurfaces in Ms. Marvel number 1 in 1977 with superpowers as a result of the explosion, which causes her DNA to merge with Captain Marvel's. As Ms. Marvel's, Danvers becomes a mainstay of the superhero team, the Avengers, beginning with the Avengers 171 in 1978. Danvers goes to use the code name Binary and Warbird in 2000.
That's kind of.
In July 2012, Danvers assumes the mantle Captain Marvel in honor of its dead original holder, Marvel, after Captain America tells her that Marvel would want her to have it, whoever Marvel was. So that's just a little history of it. She has the ability of she has super strength and flight is what I know of her. From
unaided flight.
So what now?
Unaided flight. She can fly. Yeah. Okay.
She can fly, and she's super strong. Another thing that I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think she is the reason that the Rogue character from X-Men has her powers, the flight and the strength.
What do you mean?
I don't know if you remember the episode. It's in the comic book, but it was also in the animated series from the 90s when Rogue's adopted mother Mystique made her grab this woman and hold on and never let go. Like she didn't let go.
Yes.
Remember that cartoon? She grabbed that woman and didn't let go of her and took all of her powers permanently, and she was stuck in her head. That was Ms. Marvel.
Oh,
she was a superhero. She had a whole life and all that, and Rogue put her in a coma and took her, and she was stuck in her head. She took her powers permanently, and that was why Rogue could fly and had super strength. She stole them from Ms. Marvel. But I know that's not going to happen in this since Fox owns Rogue. So, but that's a little back history from what I understand. If I'm wrong, guys, comment. Let me know what you guys know about Ms. Marvel. But that's a little bit that I know about Ms. Marvel. But I guess as an answer to the fact that Wonder Woman is already wrapped and coming out, I'm surprised that DC beat Marvel to that first female-led movie after this, these recent movies that have been coming out. But progress is progress. I'm kind of glad Wonder Woman's coming out first. It needed to happen. But I'm excited about Ms. Marvel because you need to watch that movie, The Room, because Brie Larson she's a real good actress. You need to check her out. So if you haven't seen The Room yet,
nope,
check it out. It's pretty. It's kind of intense too. You got to check it out.
I will take a gander.
All right, so Sean, you has other other news that came out of Comic-Con with video games. The only other news that I have is from television. The only ones that I wanted to talk about was the fact that we have Supergirl that's coming to the CW. They all gathered together, and they had a blast talking about the fact that Superman was going to be featured in this season of Supergirl, joining the Flash. And
who's going to be playing Superman in it?
I forgot his name, but I know he was in the MTV series Teen. He was in the Teen Wolf. His name was kind of I never seen his stuff before.
The Teen Wolf that came out just a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was.
I never watched that. I heard about it.
Never watched it either, but a guy from that show is going to be Superman. But so I can't wait to see how that turns out. You also had other news coming out of Comic-Con about games, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a really big year for video games. Obviously, this is more focused on the movies and the TVs and stuff, but we do get a little bit of it. And there's another one I believe it's called GamerCon where we get a lot more. And but the main ones that stuck out to me is one is that the public was allowed access to play Battlefield 1. And they had if you look at the footage, guys, they have a huge line for gamers just anxious to get their hands. And this is Chris's favorite game. Get their hands on Battlefield 1. And apparently the word is that it's awesome, and it's almost unanimously everybody's praising this. So this is like the first one in a long time for the Battlefield series where I was just like, I got to get this one because they're starting to get a little bit the same, kind of like with Call of Duty, the same. But this is throwback all the way to World War I. So I cannot wait for this to come out. Next up, we had originally an Xbox exclusive Titanfall. For those of you who have not played Titanfall, Titanfall is like a first-person shooter merged with a mech warrior game. So basically, you can either run out on foot or you can get into the cockpit of one of these autonomous giant robot things and fight as a robot. This was one of the first, if not, I think this was in the launch lineup for the one. I'll have to double check on that. But now
it's funny. I bet everybody in Japan is like laughing at us, like America. They're all late to the game of the big robots and stuff.
Right.
Now we're like taking it seriously.
Yeah, well, this Titanfall 1 was an Xbox exclusive. You had to get an Xbox to play this. I'm sure it all boils down to money. But now Titanfall 2 is going to be out on the PlayStation as well. And my first thought was, damn. But, it's good. Spread the love, spread the games. I wouldn't mind having a PlayStation 4 or Neo. The next one up was and I don't know if Chris has ever played any of the Dead Rising series.
Never.
Okay, so basically it's like it's a large open world.
I know what they're about, but I can't wait to not play any.
So we got one of our first looks at part 4. And if
I've seen the footage.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, it's going to be insanity. Just looking at it from a glance, when you look at the Dead Rising games, they come off as kind of serious zombie stuff. But when you actually play these games, and they take a long time to beat, and there's a lot of achievements involved in them. And I like the fact that you don't actually have to beat the game for it to end. You can just literally, there's a timer running in the background. You can literally just run around the open world, and after a certain amount of time, the game is going to end. Whatever's going to happen, whatever you've accomplished will happen. But the public got one of their first really good looks at Dead Rising 4. I cannot wait for this to come out.
I can't wait to not play any of those games. I just don't have any interest in Call of Duty, baby. Let's go to the future. Woo!
Listen to this shit.
I am not a purist. I am a fanboy, and I love it. No, those games are awesome. They just didn't grab me the way the other ones did. I like Mario. I lost all of respect for Sean. He's like, what am I doing on this show? What am I doing?
Let's just cut that last section out. Good.
So everybody, guys, Comic-Con looked like it was great again, and of course we didn't go to it, but because we couldn't go. But hopefully next year we'll be there. I want to go, man. It looks like a lot of fun. I want to check it out. Shout out to Hit or Miss Movies. She went to Comic-Con. I can't wait to see all those the pictures. I think she was dressed up as Harley Quinn, and she had a blast out there. So next, I got to figure out. I think I'm gonna. If I go to Comic-Con, I'm gonna be Static Shock. I think I'm gonna be Static Shock if I go out there. I can pull that look off. What about you? Who are you gonna dress up as if you go to Comic-Con next year?
Man, that's a $1 million question. I'd have to think about that.
Man,
in the next, you're gonna have to ask me that again in the next episode or two. I need
after these movies. Yeah, after these movies come out, yeah, we probably have a good idea.
Dress up as Wonder Woman.
Dress up as Wonder Woman. I'll be the Joker. Like all that chit chat's gonna get you killed.
I'll dress up as a mattress with my head sticking out with Gal Gadot on top of me. That's what I'll dress up as.
Exactly. And I'm gonna dress up as Gal Gadot. All right, guys. That's well. Till next time, guys. I appreciate you. We want to get your thoughts on all this stuff. What do you think about Comic-Con? Did you like all the footage that came out, all the trailers that came out, all the hot new stuff that we saw? Kong, Doctor Strange, the Justice League. Man, there was a lot of cool stuff that came out, and Marvel's killing it too. I can't wait till all these movies comes out. These video games, these TV shows. A lot of fun is coming up in the days, weeks, months, years to come. And comment below. Subscribe. Let us know what you guys think. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. And till next time, guys, like Sean always says.
No.